Hey geeks, welcome to the Jurassic World GeekastX special. I'm Sean.
And I'm Sebastian.
Alright, okay, so today we're going to have a special episode for you, and we have a special guest with us today. Very excited.
Yes. He was hard to get. He was hard to get.
You have no clue how hard. He's from the new movie Jurassic World. I'd like to introduce from the Raptor Squad, I believe. His name is Delta.
I believe.
Sorry. Blue.
Okay. Blue.
This is Blue. So Blue, this is you making your acting debut. What was it like working with, these big names like Chris Pratt, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Bryce Dallas Howard? Cool.
Very nice. Yeah. Pratt likes to make jokes.
Huh. Well, what'd you think of your other castmates? Yes. Oh, you really didn't like Vincent D'Onofrio? Why is that?
He does not work for InGen, Blue. He doesn't. Not in real life.
Yeah, Blue, calm down.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. He just took off for a minute.
Just left. These raptor types, they're skittish.
Skittish creatures. I thought, they'd be the opposite, because word on the street is they're pack hunters. So
we're not the alpha of the pack, though, so we can't control them.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right. All right.
Okay. So, have you guys?
Blue's gone.
Yeah, geeks. Have you guys seen the new Jurassic World? We hope you have. It's a great film. Quick spoiler warning if you have not seen the film.
Yes.
Before we go any farther, usually we get into spoilers like halfway through and be like, "Oh, sorry, spoilers."
But this is spoiler country from the jump, from the gate.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so where should we begin? Do you guys? I say guys because it's just us today.
Just us today.
So yeah,
just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Do you just want to start from the beginning of Jurassic World?
We can start. I saw this film.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, let's just start because I saw this film opening day, and it's been 2 weeks?
I think it's been 1 week. I think
1 week.
Yeah, 1 week to see it.
Well, all the hours we've been working lately, 1 week has turned into 2 turns into 3, but I'll try to remember anyway.
Yeah, a great film. I like it. Good.
I loved it. I mean, like I put it on Facebook, it's not as good as Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's the general consensus. Only because Jurassic Park was the first time we had seen anything like this, and so since Jurassic World is the fourth one. The magic of seeing those dinosaurs for the very first time, interacting with, live action people, I mean, that magic is gone once you see Jurassic Park. But, if you're, a newcomer to the game and you've never seen any of them, and this is your first time seeing it, I'm sure it blew your mind.
Oh, a little kid, just at that age that, they haven't seen Jurassic Park or anything like that, walking into the theater and seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I don't know about you, but, as a kid, I loved dinosaurs, and as an adult, I still love dinosaurs. I wouldn't say it's unhealthy, but I do have it borders an unhealthy relationship with loving dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, as a kid, I liked dinosaurs. They weren't the focus of my attention as a child, but Jurassic Park, I mean, I think with every kid sparked that inside of you. To think about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember, how there's those what do you want to be when you grow up? I literally would always put paleontologist because I thought that would be so cool to go dig up dinosaur bones. But I don't know if you know this, but it's not actually how it is in the movies. You don't get full skeletons. Usually it's minimal fragments.
A bone here, a bone there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pieces here, pieces there. So they don't make it seem like that in the movies. They make it seem like the full skeleton.
Yeah, that is so rare. That's why Like even in like museums and stuff, those really aren't full skeletons. Like they'll have bits and pieces and fill in the rest.
Hmm.
I don't
Like
know.
molding, like they sculpted themselves.
Yeah,
They guess.
yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if that takes some of the magic out for you, but
No, it didn't take.
yeah, I mean
No.
they compile. It's not like just a guess. Like let's say you have like 5 Stegosaurus, um, fossil skeletons, and you basically like in Iron Man, how he has all the pieces and lay them on top of each other to make the full suit. They basically
Mm-hmm.
take what looks like from each to fill in one dinosaur.
Right. Huh. Well, let's jump back into the movie here.
All right, okay.
Not to derail you.
No, that's cool.
I mean, we could probably go on a tangent like that. We've known each other for a while. We could probably go on a tangent like that for an hour.
So yeah, about the movie, what would you give it, like a rating wise,
it was pretty strong. I'd give it a 9.
Really,
in terms
a 9?
of my enjoyment, because
Mm-hmm.
I was just smiling and grinning in the theater.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was excited too. I wouldn't give it that high, just but only because like it did feel like it looked like they kind of like took the first movie and like copied it a little bit in the sense that like the different like beats and how like the movie flowed. That's not a dig or
Right,
anything.
but that
It's just like it's imitation is a form. What is it? The fondest.
imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, yeah. So I
Right.
mean, it wasn't like an imitation. I mean, clearly it was its own story, but it did have a lot of beats of the first film. But that being said, the first film was so good that I mean, this movie was going to be good from the get go. Because I mean, A, dinosaurs. B, Chris Pratt.
Right, but in terms of the timeline, you can't walk into this thinking this is after 3.
Oh yeah, right, right.
This is after Jurassic Park, and like in the interviews Spielberg has done, he has said this is pretty much the dream of Jurassic Park realized.
That does make
Like
sense.
this is
You can definitely see that.
right, and I went into the film with that in my head, and I knew it would be a similar. Oh no, dinosaur gets out, everyone runs.
Right. I was
But
wondering how that would happen, how the actual dinosaurs would get out, and then once that happened, it's like whoa.
hmm yeah,
But
that was. We
I
can
would,
get to that.
yeah, yeah. Hold your horses, guys. You're getting ahead.
Yeah.
I would give it a. I was gonna give it like an 8 because it was a good film, but for me, it felt like it went too fast.
I know what you're saying, and I think that's just a cultural thing.
Hmm.
The older we get, all these, I honestly believe it's these focus groups in Hollywood that say, the young generation, they don't have, long attention spans anymore. So it's just like go, 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 go.
Right. I do.
And
Yeah. I hear you. My wife complains about that. Like about she's like, oh, we have to go see the superhero movie and see another origin story. I was like, well, I mean that's the like half the best part of the movie. It's like you don't want to see a
right,
guy and then he's a hero the next day. You want to like see what leads to it, like the build
right,
up. And I feel like
because
you and I want to say classically trained or anything, but we are film buffs. We
we are
appreciate the
classically trained.
story.
Classically trained, we are.
Yeah, yeah, we do appreciate the
Yes.
story.
No,
We
I think we are. Right. It's I think it's just the time period we grew up when films were slowed down a bit.
Right, and they focus on character development and relationships.
Right. This one didn't very much.
Yeah, I mean they hinted toward a past relationship, and then no, just like later in the film, like it like rekindles.
Right.
The
So,
one thing I
uh,
thought was weird was the thing with the kids. Like it seems like they were kind of just shoehorned in there.
yeah. But let's not jump ahead. Let's go through what we remember the film in like chronological order.
Okay, all right. So
Let's jump.
uh,
So first off, we have the
people they get
Indominus Rex being born.
was that? Oh yeah, that's right. That was his
That's
little
right
claw.
from the top. Yep.
Yep.
And that was a cool way to open it.
Hmm.
It was different.
And then
We
you
see
get
this sibling that
was
he ate.
the classic the the like the music cue when it's like "Ah," that little
No,
thing.
that was not that's another thing I think we can talk about throughout. The music of this film is not
Original?
that was not the classic sort of opening from Jurassic Park, because the first Jurassic Park has I believe it's just drum beats. It's like boom, boom. That's like the first track in the soundtrack, and then it goes into the theme we all know. This one was the score was done by Michael Giacchino, and he has a very sort of like light and airy, sort of heavy on the piano.
I meant to ask you if John Williams came back for this, but I guess not.
No, he's got episode 7 to worry about.
Right, he's busy working on Big Fish right now.
Back in the day, he could have done it. He could have done all of them. This would have been a great summer for him, but the guy is 83, something like that. He's getting too old, but...
One of my, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say one of my favorite lines in this video, the ERB directors thing, where it's like Steven Spielberg versus
Alfred Hitchcock?
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, thank you. Alfred Hitchcock, one of his, rap bombs that he drops is, half of your millions should go to John Williams.
That is true.
And I'm like, that is so good.
That is true. Right. And I think Spielberg would say that. Mm-hmm. Because, 50% of the movie experience is the sound.
Right, exactly, yeah. So,
but anyway, after that, we see that, and then did you like the homage to the bird being a dinosaur?
Oh, yeah.
Because they cut from that right to the kids.
The foot coming down going...
Yeah.
Like, that was a really, really good, misdirection. I was like, wow, that was fast. and then you get them flying in to Islas. Oh, no, they were on a boat. So you got
the kids.
They were on a boat, remember?
No, they were on a boat. No, they fly. Well, we don't see the flight. We see the boat. But the kids, to get to the kids thing, I think you're absolutely right. They were kind of shoehorned in there with no purpose. It wasn't as strong as a connection as the other two kids being the grandchildren. These were the nephews. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. You didn't connect to them.
I guess they were going for that effect. Like, John Hammond was the creator of the Jurassic Park, and those were his grandkids. Mm-hmm. And then, this was, I don't even know the character's name.
I think it was Claire.
Claire's nephew, she works there, and these are her relation. So,
right.
I mean, I guess that was like an echo from that. And then,
it didn't land. It just didn't land as well.
I agree. Like, that's why I said it felt like they were, like, shoehorned in there, because, like, when I was watching the movie, it kept cutting to them, and I was just thinking, like, okay. I mean, I don't get their point. Like, they don't really, it's just like them pouting about not hanging out with their aunt, I guess.
Right.
And I mean, there are really cool scenes with them, and it seems like, even though they are shoehorned in, what they are shoehorned in to do is basically hit all of the homages and Easter eggs.
Yeah. I maybe I got to see it again. Maybe it will sell. I'll be sold more. Mm-hmm. But the first time around, I mean, they did a serviceable job, but there was a couple moments, one scene in particular that it just took me right out of the movie. Was when they were on the tram and the kid who knows everything, he's kind of a brainiac.
I think, what were their names? I think it was like Ryan. Was it Ryan and Gray?
Maybe.
Josh, maybe? Go on.
Anyway, the little kid goes, Mom and Dad are getting a divorce.
Oh, really?
And all of a sudden I'm like, what? Like, it hit me. I don't know why. It took me right out of the film. I said, what does that have to do with anything?
Right, yeah. I like, what does this have to do with dinosaurs and my viewing experience?
Right, but then you look back at Jurassic Park, every line, there was no line that made you cringe. Mm-hmm. It was streamlined. And I don't know.
A lot of the lines are memorable. Like in this film, I think we talked about this. There are no quotable lines that I can remember.
None that I can think of.
Oh, except for where's the alpha? You're looking at him, kid. Like, that's the only good line.
Maybe that. But, yeah, the kids were weird. It didn't sell. After that, it's a lot of park shots in the film. They established the park.
They teased the T-Rex, which was kind of cool. Like, I like how, like, they go through each one, and then once they hit the T-Rex, you're like, oh, the T-Rex, but then you only see her snout for a little bit, and then you're like, ooh, that's like kind of foreshadowing, like, I bet she's gonna come back.
Right. And I think during that point they were playing the classic theme, so I was not even paying attention to it too much, because that theme is just magical.
Yes, it is. Like, that's why, like, did they have a helicopter scene? Oh, that's what Bryce, she gets on it after I was trying to remember.
The owner is piloting.
Yeah, that's that seems rather reminiscent of Alan Grant. Remember when he's in the helicopter and he's like holding on to the sides?
Yeah, yeah. He could. Yeah,
He
I
has
didn't
a
even think of that.
fear of flying.
Good call. I didn't even think of that. Um,
And then after that, what else was there?
there was some. Well, there's a moment there, like the CEO guy that bought it from Hammond. There's one line where he says, Hammond's dying wish was.
Oh yeah, make
now,
people happy.
Right.
Screw revenue.
Right. So why are we spending half the time on certain stuff that doesn't matter? Look at that connection. You could have deepened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you could tell he had an established relationship with
John.
Dr. Wu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that means he had a relationship with Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have built on something there.
I like how they mentioned. I feel like this is because like recent discoveries about like dinosaurs having feathers, and then I don't mean to like drop science on you, but like dinosaurs having what are called like proto feathers, and Wu says something about, hey, these aren't real dinosaurs. You wanted them created to like how we wanted them to look, or
Right.
something like that. So they basically engineer dinosaurs to what people think they look like and not what they actually look like.
Right. Like an amusement park.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I mean, I wish Jurassic Park was real. I mean, that would be so cool to go there just once.
Well, I did see an article this morning on Twitter that scientists are guessing in 10 years we could have that technology to do that.
But I really, well, not to counterpoint, but I saw an article that said it would like cost $23 billion.
Yeah, I didn't click the article. I just saw the headline, so maybe that was $23 billion sitting in there.
Yeah.
But
I was like, oh,
anyway,
goodness.
yeah. Then
after that is we get introduced to our previous guest, part of the Raptor squad, right?
Yeah, old Blue, Delta, and I can never remember the third one.
It's Echo and Charlie, right?
Echo,
Aren't there four?
Echo. Is there 4?
Yeah, there's Blue,
Oh, there
Delta.
is 4.
Wait, no, hold on. Let me do it alphabetically. Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo.
Yes. See, I got confused about that because in the paddock where
there was only the 2.
There was only the 2.
Right.
And I'm like, there was more than this in the scene. But anyway, to the scene where we meet Owen and the Raptors, that was probably one of the more memorable scenes other than the
definitely. It's become a meme.
End stuff. Yeah. The zoo. If you haven't seen this, listeners, and if I can take a tangent here, Sean.
Good.
If you're listening, sound off on our Facebook page.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. Post a comment on this post or on the page itself, or.
Oh, dude, I forgot to do the plugs.
We can get to those.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, sound off on the Facebook page. But anyway, yeah, zookeepers are doing this meme where whatever animal they take care of, they do that Jurassic Park pose.
Yeah, they line up the 3 and do the hands out. And I think that that was one of the most memorable scenes because, in previous films, the Raptors were like, vicious, like killing machines bent on
guys.
murder basically, and they're the enemies. But in this film it's like almost jarring to see Owen has been able to bond and train these dinosaurs. And right. I mean, like, there are some points where he's all like, hey, watch it, Blue, don't give me that shit, because he's like still snopping at him. He's like, arr, arr. I was like, ah.
He's looking at one. He's like, I see you over there. Get back. Yeah, Pratt. That's another thing. I'll give Chris Pratt all the credit for this movie because he didn't act like Star-Lord. He really dialed it back, and I honestly believe he was either told or he looked at the game warden from Jurassic Park as his template.
That's the clever gal.
Yeah, he looked at that. He looked at that guy for, I guess, in terms of maybe not acting style, but in terms of how much to take, his level of comedy.
Right. And it definitely, like, I agree, like, he probably dialed it back a little. But, as like, he does, like, there are a lot of comedic moments in there.
Yeah.
And they do revolve around him. I'd say, like, those are the best ones,
Right. Then, I guess we can deviate from the film because I'm starting to, like, forget the exact order.
Oh well, what happened next was that's when you realize that Vincent D'Onofrio wants to weaponize them.
Yeah,
And
hold on. Yeah, let's get into that.
and you get kind
You
of like
just
echo from what Ian Malcolm warned us of. Like
right.
they branded it and packaged it before they even knew what they had. They were too busy, trying to figure out if they could do it, then rather they should do it.
Should do it. But that was just shoehorned in there too. It was just out of nowhere. That guy's there. He's like, "Yep, we want him on the military battlefield."
Right. Yeah, I do. I think that's like.
And if you look at Jurassic Park, it never did that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
I was just gonna say, like, it's weird that because you later find out that D'Onofrio is working with. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even remember these characters' names.
Right.
Because it went by so fast. I think. You find out D'Onofrio and Wu are working together.
Right.
Later on in the film, but after that, they like, oh, the Indominus Rex. They think it's loose, right? But then this is when you find out this Indominus Rex they bred. They originally say it's half T-Rex and then half something else and classified. Yeah. And then so they go and investigate the cage of the beast, and they look at the wall, and he's like, hey, were those scratch marks there earlier? And they're like, oh no, and they open the gates and they go look, and I forget why she races away.
She's racing away because because they thought it was out, and she was going back to headquarters.
Because
they were looking around on the paddock because they thought it had climbed out.
Because it had evaded their what is it? Thermal sensors.
Yeah, it had yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it evaded the thermal sensors, and then that's when they look for the tracking device, and they're like, oh crap, it's still in the cage. And that's when Owen and these like two other guys are like, crap, we gotta get out of here. One of them's like gets eaten right away, and when I saw the fat guard, I'm like, that would be me if I was in Jurassic World. That's my character.
That was a great scene.
Right.
And there was a lot of things in that scene I didn't see coming. Maybe
really?
Because I just
didn't see that coming.
No, maybe I just suspended all disbelief and just was enjoying the ride. But the whole cutting the gas line and covering his scent.
Is that what that was? I thought it was like, because I'm like, she'd still be able to smell him.
No, he cut the gas line to douse himself in gas to cover his scent.
But I thought she could see thermal.
Well, I thought that halfway through that scene, but if you look, the Indominus Rex eyes never really go down that far. And you're right, she could see. Well, I guess the truck would be cold, and she would just see it as a cold brick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because when he cuts the line and douses himself, I assume that whatever temperature the gas line is, it would make him that temperature too, and plus he would bleed around him. So on the ground, it would be wet, that temperature. He'd be coated in that temperature, kind of like with Arnold in Predator.
But also, it's a movie, and it was just an exciting scene to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Quick
so
thinking.
That's how the Indominus gets loose. Because they're like, open the gate, and they run and
quick. Do you know what I think he was homaging a bunch of times?
Indiana Jones.
The director, not Chris Pratt, but the director.
What?
Was homaging King Kong twice.
How so?
To my perception, he was.
The original or
the original?
Peter Jackson. Okay.
Which, I mean, Peter Jackson pretty much made the original again, just with better effects.
Mm-hmm.
But
and Jack Black.
Yeah. When the Indominus gets out of the paddock.
That was my favorite, when it closes on top of him, but he's like, whatever, or breaks through anyway.
Exactly. That felt King Kong-like, but the one that was almost shot for shot was when they get back to the park and they're in that little alcove and they turn around because something's banging on the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that scene? Then all the people run out because the gate.
Yeah, and then you hear the stampede.
Yeah, go watch like a scene from King Kong where Kong gets through the gate, the 1933 one, and it felt like that. It had that feeling.
I mean, I definitely agree, because remember in Peter Jackson's, it's been too long since I've seen the original, but I remember in Peter Jackson's when he's in the theater and he gets loose, everyone runs through the back, and then you see a scene where there's the front of the theater. The doors burst open and they're running into the streets, and he breaks through, and that's when he's running through and picks up Naomi Watts' character, who I forget the name of right now.
And Daredevil.
Yeah, and then like
I love those movies, so I've seen them multiple times.
Yeah, anything with Peter Jackson is like gold. I haven't seen any movie of his that I didn't like. Maybe The Hobbit Part 3.
Oh, don't even get me started. Right. I normally give him the benefit of the doubt, but that one, oof, that was a rough one. But anyway,
so do you know how really quick? Because I mean, you are the special effects connoisseur expert.
Did you say social effects?
The special effects.
It's visual. I'm
sorry.
I'm just
a filthy casual. I didn't know.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay.
I honestly, that's one of it's not a pet peeve, but I correct people because there is a delineation nowadays. Like people will just assume like the stuff ILM and Weta do is special effects. It's not titled that. It's visual effects, and special effects is the practical stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's how it's split in two in Hollywood.
See, I didn't know that. Now I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was totally glib on that. I was just assumed everything was special effects. You know, actually, I usually just call it like practical or CG.
You could just say effects, or even that, yeah, practical or CG. I'd rather someone say that than say, "Oh, you're a good special effects artist." Well, technically, no. But anyway, go ahead. What was your question?
My question was, how did they do the dinosaurs in this one? Because I know, like, you know, in the previous ones they had a lot of practical, puppets, and then for the CG ones they had the puppet that they would move like stop motion style and animate it like that. Do you think like they still use something like that, or did they just, you know, since it's 2015 and they have the technology, they just rendered it?
So you're asking me to compare the 93 to this, essentially?
Yeah, like, is there similarities? There's differences? I mean, no, I will say that in the new one, clearly it is hard to tell the practical from the CG.
Versus, I think like, this was
93.
For everyone listening out there, I watched a video last night, which I'll post on our GeekastX Facebook page.
Yeah,
done recording.
Got the name changed.
Yeah, it's a 7-minute video from Legacy Effects. Now, Legacy Effects is sort of the continuation of Stan Winston's studio. Do you know who Stan Winston is?
I do not. Go on and tell me.
Stan Winston, for anyone who doesn't know, is a legendary special effects, practical effects pioneer. Like he did Terminator.
Oh yes, Alien. Okay, I do know.
Yeah.
I do. And then wasn't his last film? It was something weird. I remember this was on Kevin Smith's podcast.
He died. He didn't do much of it. Towards the back half of his life when he was sick, because in the Iron Man behind the scenes, you see him talking about it, and he even says, he goes, "I don't do it anymore." He goes, "It's just I look at it, I approve it, and and I just say put my name on the screen." So he didn't really do much of it towards the end, but Stan Winston created basically the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Now, if you want to know more about this, there's the fantastic documentary online that was on the Jurassic Park DVD, making of Jurassic Park. And back then, it was all going to be stop motion. Go motion. Now, go motion is different than stop motion because it adds motion blur.
Yeah, it's not so choppy.
Yeah. And maybe I'll post this one on the Facebook page as well. It's from the Academy Awards official Facebook page. Or not Facebook page, YouTube page. The behind the scenes, the creation of the digital dinosaurs. And they were originally, ILM was only originally going to put motion blur into the stop motion. So if you could picture that 93, Jurassic Park was going to be all stop motion. Everything.
Wow, that would have been such a different,
that would have been
movie.
Weird.
It would have looked like
that would have been weird.
Something
but
Burton would have done.
Yeah. There was a artist at ILM who decided, according to this story from his own words, decided to kind of go against the producer's wishes, and he built the first set of dinosaur bones and did the test that he just one day just played on his computer because he knew the producers of the movie were going to walk by his desk, and he was just sitting there looking at it, and they all freaked out, and that's how it supposedly got greenlit to be those 53 CG shots. But fast forward to today, I only think from my count and I really wasn't paying too much attention. I only think there's one practical effect in the whole movie.
Okay.
I think the rest
I will
is
agree.
CG. I think the what was the name of the dinosaur? You said it right. I can't say it.
The Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus, yes. When they go into the field,
Not to be confused with the Brontosaurus, because the
Right.
Brontosaurus never existed. That's actually a common misconception. What happened was they had found an Apatosaurus. The guy who discovered the Brontosaurus, and I say that with air quotes. There was two guys racing to, when they first discovered fossils. Two guys racing to find as many as they can to name them. So one guy found the Apatosaurus whole skeleton, with the skull and the whole neck and everything. And the other guy claimed that he found it first, but he didn't have a skull, so he grabbed the skull of something else and slapped it on there. And it's like, this will be the Brontosaurus.
I didn't know that.
But the guy who found the Apatosaurus was like, well, I found this. It looks similar, but it has a different skull. I'll call this one the Apatosaurus.
Right. Huh. Well, he was the only practical
Sorry, dude.
effect.
I love dinosaurs.
No, that's cool. No, we're there. Think about it. The listeners are getting two worlds. The film world, and the real, the real stuff, not just the stuff they make up. But that was the only practical effect, and it was extended by ILM.
Yeah, and that was definitely an echo of the Triceratops.
Triceratops, but it's cool. In the video I'll post, it's real. The head of the shop. Now, getting back, I've gone all over the place. I apologize, but Legacy Effects is now Stan Winston's studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same crew, but they dropped Stan Winston's name. I never understood why, but that's what they decided to do. But anyway, they built this, and the head of the shop said that the director, Colin Trevorrow, I think that's how you say his name, he really fought to have some practical in the movie.
Do you think the raptors were practical, like when they were caged?
Yes. That also is mentioned in the video. They did build a head. And then that was augmented digitally.
Mm. So, I saw, this is not to get off topic, but I saw a really cool feature on the visual effects. Now you got me worried. The visual effects in Benjamin Button. And some of them were really cool about how they shot, them, and then went back and kind of do what we do at work and made them look younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's so cool.
I've talked about it before. I'm glad you found that because I think I've mentioned it to you. The when they took Brad Pitt in that movie and dialed him back to when he looked like he was about 25.
Mm-hmm.
The level of they essentially do it sort of 2.5D, which means they paint on top of it and project in 3D.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was cool to see when they, how they often do with this is how we built it, and they split it into the layers.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool because it was basically the practical raw footage layer, and then what went over top of it was just black, and then smooth under his eyes, and then just it wasn't even a face or anything. It was just smoothing lines.
Well, essentially what they do with that one, it's
and I think that's what they did for the dinosaurs to make them look not so fake.
I would disagree. I bet they just put a full CG on top of it.
Oh, okay.
For these kind of movies, they build these things for essentially sort of things an actor can touch and lighting reference, and then they just paint it out.
See, yeah, really quick on that note, I was just thinking how amazing it was. Chris Pratt, I almost called Evans. Chris Pratt's acting was, and all their acting was for these dinosaurs, because clearly there's not real dinosaurs. So and their acting is super organic. And I don't know if you heard the story about how he was doing that scene where the tiny pterodactyl is attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
And how he wasn't getting the reaction he wanted, so he asked if there was something he could work with, and they got a little person to dress up in a green screen suit and
really?
Jump on him and snarl at him, and so he's sitting there freaking out for real because it's intimidating. So that's his real reaction, and it was a good cut. And what happened was, the guy's name was Marty, I believe, is after he knocks him off, he takes him and slams him on the ground, right? And
Right.
you're not supposed, because this is like a big budget film. They're not going to yell cut to see if he's okay. They're just going to roll.
Just keep going.
Yeah, stay in character for a while. And Chris Pratt was saying how like Marty was just lying there for a minute because like he hit his head so hard he could see blood coming down, and he's like, "Oh my god,
Oh
I
man.
just killed Marty." And then eventually they yell
I just
cut, and he gets up like it's nothing, and he wipes his face off. He goes, "Let's do it again."
Wow, I had not heard that one.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was on Conan, I believe.
Well, I did hear because you mentioned realistic acting. They used I don't know if they motion captured the motions or they had these actors just dress up in mocap suits because it's easier to paint out.
Oh, the
But
Raptors.
the Raptors were actual actors.
That's cool. I was gonna ask you, do you think Andy Serkis was the Indominus Rex?
No. Who knows? He's too busy with Star Wars. Actually, I think if he's done filming Star Wars, he's set to direct his own version of the Jungle Book.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
did see that. That's gonna be cool.
Yep.
So getting back to the film.
Yeah, we're sidetracking all over the place.
I know.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
that's how it goes.
That's okay. I know that's how it
where,
goes.
where were we? So the Indominus Rex gets loose, and that's when the poop hits the fan.
It all goes wrong.
This is where like, oh no, and then it basically like this Indominus Rex is like crazy smart for a dinosaur, and it's running around destroying stuff, killing dinosaurs for sport. There's this really cool scene where these like guys on site go to take it down, and they're using like tasers and stuff. So like Owen is all like, "Dude, you're using non-lethals to try to take down this huge beast. It's ridiculous to even try that. You basically sent those guys out to be killed." And they're like looking around for it, and he hears a noise. Oh no, it's blood. Blood drips on his wrist, and he looks up, and the Indominus Rex like phases. I don't know, because he was camouflaged. He's like he yells, "Ah, she's got camouflaged!" And then like he gets eaten immediately. And one by one, they have like these wristbands on that monitor their heart rates, and like one by one on the screen, you see all of them flatline.
That was a cool scene.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that scene. That was probably one of the more well shot, well lit that reminded me of Jurassic Park scenes. I think it was just the way it was lit. It was just like
I think it's because of the jungle.
Yeah, I think it was the jungle, and which is odd because in Jurassic Park, if you think about it, they're never in the jungle that much.
Oh, dude, of course they are. Remember, that's the whole with the raptors. Like, remember when that's where he says "clever girl" because he's like in the jungle.
Yeah, he's in the jungle, like but he comes out from in that scene. He's on the main road and he just walks into the jungle. Only in Lost World, really, did we see like these full jungle vista shots.
Yeah, and then you get the Iron Jungle when they land in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, all right. So after that scene is when you get the call back to another Jurassic Park thing. Is when he's in the gyroscope ball, right? And there's all those crap. What are they called? Don't tell me. Hadrosaurs. You get those hadrosaurs running past them.
Mm-hmm. There was a couple of those shots that and the when they were riding on the tour and all the I can't remember the name of them. It's from the shot from the first one. When they're running away from him, when Billy's like, they're flocking this way.
Those are the hadrosaurs.
Okay. Okay, yeah. No, but they were not in the gyroscope scene, were they?
Yeah, that was when. Remember, they're in the ball.
Yeah, but it was Stegosauruses.
Oh, those are hadrosaurs. I believe
I'm
so.
not.
No. That's the Stegosaurus later. That's how they get broken out. Remember?
Right.
So it's after that scene.
See, this is the point we're making, listeners. It's this movie
It's
kind
so
of fades
fast,
away.
It's all blur. But that scene. Remember, it's cool because Jimmy Fallon was in it.
Oh, let's stop. That's the second scene that took me right out. Just.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted
Jimmy grabbed my head in the theater himself and just ripped me out of the movie.
I wanted to say something really cool to you about that. I don't know if you know this, but that's an Easter egg because I think it's the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios. He is there to do the safety instructions there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a okay, that's kind of cool, but that's kind of a small market of people
Right?
to
Yeah, like, oh hey, I went to
service
Universal
to.
Studio once. Like I've never been there. I've never seen that video, so I wouldn't know. So I'm like, okay, Jimmy Fallon, cool.
Well, did you see the Mr. DNA cameo?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
was really cool too.
Why
My
not get him, like, or someone who can impersonate that guy's voice to do the safety thing?
I could do it. I'll tell you what. Whenever I watch Jurassic Park and he pops up and he says dinosaur,
Yeah.
I always make a joke about it and I look over and I go, "We're hunting dinosaurs," and then I go, "No, you do one," because I have this weird obsession of do like weird thing when I do impressions and I look to who's ever around me and I go, "No, you do one." Like I do that like at work I'll be like,
Hi.
Get to the chopper.
I
This
don't
is
think you've ever
crazy.
done that to me before. I don't think you've ever said that to me before
Really?
because maybe you know me well enough that I'd probably look at you like, I'm good.
Yeah, dude, I love doing impressions. I try to do good ones. I mean, some of them are probably crappy, but yeah, I always tell the other guys,
I've never been good
Brian
at
and
them.
Jake, I'm like, come on, do something funny. Like you do one now, because it's funner if we both do impressions. Like
Right.
on the like Star Wars commentary, he's like, I'm Billy D, Star
Yeah.
Wars #1. Like I've seen Star Wars 500 times, and then Sam Witwer is all like doing Arnold, and he's like, you look
Oh
like an
yeah.
idiot. Can you cry with one tear?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's that.
But yeah, Mr. DNA making a cameo.
Yeah, that was just really cool. I saw him right away. It was weird because he was a hologram.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, they put him right in the center of the screen.
Yeah, definitely. I like that it was like an obvious Easter egg. It wasn't like something small like the Ian Malcolm book. Like I barely even caught that.
Oh, I caught him both times. I don't know how I did, but I did. I just like, oh hey, Ian, hey. See, that's the thing this movie should have done at the very end. Just had Jeff Goldblum pop up somewhere.
After the credits, and like just like I told you that life
Chaos. Chaos.
they do that. They do have some chaos references to chaos theory.
They did, didn't they?
It was
Didn't
Bryce. Didn't she say something like?
I thought the little kid said something.
I don't remember, but I remember saying something about order and then chaos, and I'm like, they said it.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then in addition to that, like a lot of the funny scenes were like, this is near the end where they get the Raptor squad to help hunt down the Indominus, where she throws them in the back. I was like, put on your seatbelts. And they're like, I don't think there are any. And they're like, then hold hands. And then like she shuts the door, and he's like holds out his hand like he's gonna hold his big brother's hand.
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
So
did you like that at the waterfall scene when he was making fun of her? He's like, you're gonna go out into the wilderness looking like that.
Oh yeah, walking in those shoes, and then she does this thing where she's like, "Oh yeah," and rips open her shirt and then ties it in a knot or whatever. Because what's that? What's that supposed to be?
Did you see that was an homage?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, it was Ellie, right?
It was Ellie. Yeah.
Is it Ellis or Ellie?
It's Ellie, I believe.
Okay.
Ellie. I'm like that's. I feel like that was a Spielberg note.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know, something about that felt like Spielberg.
I heard she got a bunch of gripe for like doing the whole movie in heels or whatever, like some kind of feminist thing. I mean, we won't harp on that too long. We'll just mention.
No, we don't have to harp on it, but it aggravates me.
I know people harp about the stupidest things,
the dumbest things.
But yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I was like, okay, I mean, whatever.
That's all I've seen on Twitter is like, is Jurassic World sexist and feminist and racist? I'm like,
racist? How was it racist? Because the Indominus Rex was white.
You know Twitter. It just goes nuts. So it just anyway. So yeah, the raptor scene.
Oh yeah,
when he's riding along.
You get the raptor.
The cool thing about that is you always felt that Owen never truly had control of those things.
Well, it's cool because like this is when you get the big reveal where the Indominus Rex comes up and they find it, and the raptors are like, making their noises and like talking to it and it's communicating back. And first you're like, what's going on? These dinosaurs are conversing.
Right.
And then that's the moment it clicks in your brain.
Yeah, that's the moment I'm like, he's part raptor.
Yeah, and that's the classified bit.
Literally, the second my brain put it together, Owen said, that thing's part raptor.
Right.
I'm like,
now
oh, this movie is great.
We didn't mention this earlier, but there are some really cool. They show a bunch of really cool dinosaurs. There's like a herbivore petting zoo where you get these baby animals, and then you get like the SeaWorld kind of guy. Where,
yeah, we didn't talk about the SeaWorld scene at all.
Yeah, there's this really cool scene. I don't know if this is really at SeaWorld, but the thing jumps up. I don't know what it's called. That's the only dinosaur I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
I guess it looks like a megalodon, but it's
in
not.
The trailer. The big water dinosaur.
It looks like a megalodon. I'll just call it a megalodon.
Okay.
It looks like a megalodon with an alligator face instead of a shark. But you get this thing, and then it like splashes, and everyone gets soaked, and everyone's like cheering, like, "Oh, that was so fun!" And you're like, "Now we'll take a closer look." And then the bleachers recede, and they go down into like this. Yeah, and then you get this like sweet view of a tank. An underwater tank, not like.
Do you know the first thing that came through my mind when that scene happened and they went to the floor, like they went into the ground? I don't know why, but I'm like, that would cost a lot of money. That's the first thing I said. They're like, that costs a lot of money.
I thought the gyroscope thing would cost a lot. Like a lot of that stuff, I'm like, all these holograms.
Yeah,
must be a fortune.
And this is supposed to be in the timeline, like current day.
Really, I thought it was 20 years later.
From Jurassic Park, which is now.
Oh, no, okay. So we don't have that technology.
Right. Half that technology we don't have.
I'd say not even half. Like 80% of that technology we don't have. I think the technology we do have was those Galaxy S6s that they were totally promoting.
The product placement.
Oh my gosh, I saw so much product placement. I'm like, oh, there's an Audi. I'm like, oh, there's I don't know, Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah. Verizon presents the Indominus Rex.
Yeah, definitely. That was a little.
But it was, you know what it was? It was funny. I found it funny because that's what a theme park would do.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was.
And then the guy, basically, the guy that the funny guy in the control room.
Oh yeah, who had the shirt?
Yeah, he basically summed up, what did he say? Why don't you call it? I forget what he said, but he made a line like, why do all these big companies have to own everything? Why can't you stand up?
And that guy was really cool. I liked him.
I guess he had been in the director's previous movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, my favorite scene with him was when he's about to kiss that girl, and she's like, I have a boyfriend. And I was like, what? And he goes, good luck then.
That was funny.
Denied.
At the beginning of that scene, I'm like, so help me. If there is a love interest between these two for no reason, I'm like, this movie is going to go down in my grading scale.
See, that's why I gave it an 8, and you're like, I'll give it a 9.
Well, that's because it made it funny.
I will agree. It was funny. But yeah, and then the thing, what about that scene where it looks like when Gandalf like comes up on
what?
Hold on. All right. It's the scene where Owen and Claire walk over the hill and they see all of the Apatosaurs are dead.
Uh-huh.
It looked like that scene from Lord of the Rings.
When Gandalf rides up to Minas Tirith?
Sure, yeah. And he's like, he sees it in the distance.
Yeah.
It looked like super fake.
Yeah, there was a plain sort of dimensionality to it, like it was composited.
Exactly.
There was something else there, and that whole thing was fake. You're right, and that's just, I don't blame the effects artist. I blame the shot composition for the director.
Also, the really cool scene I thought was with the pterodactyls when they finally get loose.
That was funny.
Because the Indominus Rex is a genius. I'll tell you what. Like for a dinosaur, he uses these things as a trap. He like breaks into the aviary, because
I don't think he broke in there. I think he just ran in there. Do you think he broke in there on purpose?
Yeah, of course. Listen, they called in InGen, and Vincent D'Onofrio's character was like, okay, take him down, and they have these huge guns, right? And then the Indian dude was all like, look alive, guys, because they're about to take it down, and they're like shooting at it, and he's in the air, clearly, and that's when he's all like, there's the aviary, breaks through, releases the pterodactyls. He even like runs at them, like they're all peaceful and stuff, and he runs at them, chopping away, so that they, disperse, like a kid running toward a flock of geese, and they disperse, and they fly out, and they attack the helicopter.
See, I took that scene a different way. He was getting shot at. He got scared. He saw that as cover. He ran in there. He was shocked when he saw all these other things in there, and those things have been locked in there for who knows how long, and they were just, like little kids going crazy. That's how I took it. They were little kids going crazy, and they got out, and it just so happened they're like, "Oh, look, helicopter."
Really? No, I think it was on purpose. I totally think it was because, dude, he set the trap of climbing over the wall using the camouflage.
Yeah, but he was getting shot at in the heat of the moment. I don't know. I guess it could be taken both ways.
Well, either way, it still works towards the he's getting shot at. He needs to take that thing out.
It's still a great scene because like two of the best shots, a couple of the best shots in the whole movie are in that scene.
Right.
In terms of effects.
I noticed in the previews they cut the two scenes where the megalodon jumps up and he grabs the shark. And they cut it there, and then go through the over the top scene where he grabs the pterodactyl down.
Yeah, remember when I said I think when that trailer came out, I said that was just a swap, and that pterodactyl scene wouldn't be in the movie.
Yeah,
I was shocked when it was in the movie. I was like,
that's like the second thing you're wrong on. Remember, you were like, oh, it's Issa Lorna. But I totally bought into it. I'm like, dude, you're totally right. So I was wrong too.
Speculation, man. Yeah. It's just speculation.
But then after that is when
hold on, those scenes when he yells at the pterodactyl, just think about that. That's all CG. That's all fake. That was, and then the scene where the helicopter crashes, and it does this cool. I can't even figure the camera move in my head yet. It does this cool thing where it's like the camera's on the back of a 4-wheeler, and the Indominus Rex. He sees the thing coming down, and it just starts to explode. You know that shot I'm talking about, where he whips back around and runs away?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I looked at that shot, I said, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was really good. There was also another scene that we forgot to mention back with the raptors. When he is communicating with the Indominus Rex, the raptors, he turns them against the humans. So that's when they're like, oh, crap, they've got our new alpha. And Owen is like, oh no. So they just start opening fire, and they have to kill some of the raptors. And there's this cool scene where I don't know the black dude, but the black dude is like hiding or something.
Yeah, he never got a name.
Oh no, I don't remember. That wasn't that scene. There's another scene where there's a raptor, and I don't know where he gets hit with a rocket.
Yeah, I thought it was Blue.
I know. I was like, no, don't kill Blue. Kill all of them but Blue.
Yeah, you never know. Well, didn't they all have blue markings on them?
Yeah, I thought that at first too, but I went back and looked. Some of them have stripes, like vertical stripes.
Right.
But blue is the only one with horizontal blue stripes.
Okay. Well, I thought it was blue because it was kind of hard to tell the difference.
But it happened so fast. Like, and he jumps up really quick. I was like, I'm like, who shot that?
He stops. And then, because, when the Raptors get switched, you think, oh, Owen lost all that control. He's not going to get it back. And then there's that moment where you think, oh, he's going to get the control back. And then, boom, he's just...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Now I remember. Okay.
Because he stops, and he looks at...
Owen. Owen puts his hand up. And
he just
I remember Owen getting thrown back.
Right. And then just, boom.
Yeah, and then they show the other Raptors going after the kids. And
that was a cool scene. I like the way the Raptors ran in this movie.
Oh yeah, they look so good, so good. Raptors are actually a lot smaller.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah,
like chicken size, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit bigger, probably turkey size.
Something like it. Yeah, I think I knew that one.
Yeah, it was really cool though to see them like run, like the whole like head bobbing, like that's how it looks.
Balance of the counter and counterbalance of their tail to their head. Oh, it was just beautiful animation.
Definitely, and like I thought they were getting taken out, like killed, like when they would hit them with the door. I thought they would get run over because a lot of them got taken out in that chase. And then like Owen's like, "Follow me, we have to get to this thing." And then I guess the Indominus Rex follows him there, and then he gets confronts Wu and Vincent D'Onofrio. Wait, hold on. Whatever happened to Wu?
He got on the helicopter and left.
Okay, so Wu escapes. Okay. So we'll speculate what happens in the sequel then in a minute.
Well, yeah.
So we'll finish out what happens.
Okay.
Then you get these really cool. This is where you get a whole bunch of cool homages. We forgot to mention the kids find the old Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah,
see
that
the
whole
door,
scene.
And you're like, oh, and then they open it up, and you see the when dinosaurs ruled the earth, and like.
Do you know what's great about that scene? The
Everything.
music. Yeah, everything.
Oh
But
yeah, the
I
music, how
said
it's very faint.
if the music doesn't play the theme,
Hmm.
I'm gonna get mad. And then Michael Giacchino comes in with a beautiful piano, very subtle.
Right, I was gonna say it sounded like a musical box. It's like ding ding
Yeah.
ding ding ding.
Oh, it was. I just said, oh, and yeah. Then you see the. Well, it's kind of sad because they find the banner
Mm.
and then they light it on fire.
Oh yeah, I would have been like souvenir.
Yeah.
And then then you see the goggles. That was a cool
Mhm.
scene. And they
I
pop
wanted the
out
kid
at
to
him.
put them on. I wanted
Oh
the kid to
yeah,
put
yeah.
them on.
I mean, it was daytime. They would have.
Yeah.
And then you get the old jeeps, and then you get the jeep that the lawyer and Ian, or not Ian, the lawyer and John were in. It has the
Mhm.
29 tag. You're like, oh, all these cool Easter eggs from the old film, and yeah,
Oh, side note. Can I do a side note because you just said the lawyer? The lawyer.
yeah, go ahead.
Just because you said the lawyer. I've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park behind the scenes stuff
Hmm.
on YouTube since the movie. Jeff Goldblum had a hilarious story on this video I found.
Oh yes, I know it. Go ahead.
You know this story?
Yeah, go ahead.
He said that before the beginning of filming, him and the guy who played the lawyer in
weren't
Jurassic Park,
weren't they in an airport?
yeah, they were in the same airport together. And the guy that played the lawyer looked at Ian Malcolm, one of the title characters of the movie, and said, "I'm gonna talk to Steven Spielberg. I got an idea. I'm thinking your character should die, and my character should live." And Jeff Goldblum looks at him like, "Okay, you have fun with that." Pretty much
Right,
like, good
you
luck
go
with
ahead
that.
and see how that flies.
You go talk to, I don't know, Steven Spielberg, and tell him how to direct his movie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's crazy because I'm in the book. Um, a lot of characters die in the book that don't die in the movie. Like in the book, John Hammond dies right like at the end before they bomb the island. They bomb the island, uh, Isla Nublar, and John Hammond gets attacked by the compies, and then John Woo is attacked. Not John Woo. Henry Woo gets attacked by velociraptors. Yeah, all that stuff happens, and then Ian Malcolm dies in the book, but it turns out he didn't really die. He just slipped into a coma, and he comes back in the second.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, I read the book I think I told you this. I read it a long time ago, and every time you mention a passage of the book, I can recall some of those words on the page. Like, it brings it back.
Hmm.
So that sounds familiar.
So, all right, we got all that. Okay, so we get all these homages, and then the Indominus Rex strikes again. All right. Uh,
Are you going into the finale?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the best part of the movie, I think.
Oh, this was the moment in the movie that made it all the little things we've talked about for the last hour.
I think you may be
Little
getting ahead.
gripes. No, what?
I'm not talking about that part yet. I'm talking about, remember when when Owen leaves the rifle, and then the
Oh, you're talking about, okay.
We're
See, you let it. Sorry about that.
yeah. So because
You
we're
led
still at
me
the
into
goggle,
like the beginning.
we're still at the goggle part. Remember?
Ah,
And then Owen and Claire are like, I don't know, seconds behind the kids. Oh, remember that scene when they're driving at the gate and they're yelling, "Open the
Yeah.
gate! Open the gate!"
open
And
the
they're
gate.
like, there's just two guard towers, two guys on the guard towers looking, and they're like, "What?" And then all of a sudden, you see all these pterodactyls, and he goes, "Well, that's something you don't see every day." And that's when
yeah,
they,
that was right out of right.
yeah.
That was a Alfred Hitchcock homage.
Oh yeah, definitely for birds.
Yep.
And then they let them in, and that's when you get this whole panicked kind of city area because they get into the park, and there's like all these people freaking out, and then while that's happening, the Indominus strikes again. Owen and Claire are at the old park thing. What would you call that? Like
It was
headquarters?
it was the building. Yeah, it was the main building.
Yeah. So they're there. He strikes again. I think he like tries to trick them out and leave, and then he breaks through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was an homage to the scene with the car in the first one. The T-Rex breaks out.
Kinda. But did you like three things. I got three things I want to ask you.
Because they did that. They did the same gimmick with the gyroscope. Remember, that's where the Stegosaurus hits the ball and it cracks it, and then you get the thing attacking it from. Go on. Sorry.
Right. No, right. I want to ask you three things about that sequence. First, where am I going? Did you find it weird that they were literally right behind them?
Oh, a little bit. Because I was like,
jarring?
how big is this island that they know exactly where they're going?
Well, it just seemed like the kids pulled out and like got out of the camera shot, and then they walked in from the left side of screen.
No, I guess I didn't think too much about it. I think it's part of that whole this movie's going too fast thing. Because if they showed them like really far behind,
yeah, that would have been better.
That would have been like 20 more minutes of screen time.
Right, and then I don't remember what the second thing was, but the third thing was when Indominus crashes into the main building.
Mm-hmm.
That was just I felt like there was this constant battle of the new director trying to kill Spielberg. You know what I mean?
Really, like destroying all of his stuff. Like, this is your old stuff. Let me destroy it.
Or it was Spielberg destroying himself.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out in my head because there were so many things like, the new destroying the old.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bizarre. How'd you feel about it? Did you pick up on that?
I didn't, but now that you mention it, I can see that, and I think it's cool because it's like they are making a new trilogy, and I wouldn't say like they're like destroying it, but I'm saying it's more like they're renovating it. And to renovate, you need to tear down to build back up.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's going to be a new trilogy. But I wanted to mention, I almost forgot. Remember the scene with Owen and Claire where she does that thing and she's like, "What's that supposed to be?" And he goes, "This means I'm ready. I'm ready to go." And he's like, "Can you smell them out?" And he goes, "I was in the Navy. Not the what is it, Iroquois?"
Yeah, he's like, "I was in the Navy, not the what do you say, Cherokee?"
Cherokee, yeah.
That was pretty funny. Can you smell them out? And he just gives you that, like
I lost you.
Classic Chris Pratt look.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the good scenes. All right, and then so you get that they're in the city panicking and all that stuff, and
product placement everywhere.
Oh my gosh, so much product placement. I for some reason I think I'm out of order because I remember the raptor scene being at night.
No, it goes. Raptor scene is Raptor scene is basically the major sequence before the end of the movie.
Okay, all right. So I am right. This is right before the final showdown.
The Raptor scene is before the final showdown.
Well, what about because they're in the city now? So doesn't the Indominus Rex follow them into that city thing?
No, he runs away.
And what happened? Where does the final showdown happen?
After the raptor attack, and they go back into the city. Remember, because the kid, you were there, and then I was going, and you deviated backwards.
See, that's what I'm saying. This movie seems like one big jumbling mess.
You were going in order, and then you went backwards. Because when the raptors are chasing the kids, that's at night, and they go back to the main hub of the park.
Oh, okay. No. That's when they were. No. That's when they were in the gyroscope, and they break out of the ball.
No.
No, yeah, dude, I just saw it a couple days ago. Like, it's when they break out of the ball, and they go, and then Owen and Claire are tracking them down. I think I'm in order. I'm in order.
You started.
I mentioned the raptor scene too early.
Yeah, then that triggered me to think we were headlonging into the end of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Imagine that I said that right, guys. Okay. So moving forward to the final showdown. This is so cool. So
this is the end of the movie, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. You get the Indominus Rex. I don't really remember how it happens. Oh yeah, it's the rapper scene. After the rapper scene, they're like, "Oh, we need to get to shelter."
Yeah.
He's on a motorcycle. They go back to the main place. Run into Vincent D'Onofrio and the Woo guy, or I think the Woo guy's already escaped.
No, Woo is gone.
And D'Onofrio is packing up the embryos like Newman.
And he dies.
Yeah, but he dies because he puts his hand up to the raptor, and he's all like, what are the raptors? The raptors follow them there, and I think it may have been Blue, because Blue is the one who has the beef.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue is like sitting there looking at him, and he puts his hand up, it's easy now, and then I'm like waiting for it to happen, and boom, Blue just chomps down on his arm, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Explosion of blood.
Yeah, everywhere. And then after that, I think that's when Chris Pratt gets control of them again, right? Because then they go out to fight the Anonymous, and the Anonymous is all like raw raw, and then they're
No, he never gets control.
no. Remember they help him out.
No, okay. How the scene goes? He goes back. They go back out,
Hmm.
right, to the main stairway that looks out onto the main sort of thoroughfare of the park, the main street, if you will.
And you get this sweet picture of this statue of John Hammond. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, I like that.
With the cane and everything. Outside there were like these giant amber statues.
Yes. Then they go out, and then the remaining raptors, minus the one that got blown up, corner him. They come around him in a pack formation, and then the camera pans up, and Indominus comes around the corner. And then Pratt just walks forward, if I remember right, and then he gets control back.
Oh, okay. I remember them. I thought there was like a conversation like, hey, these guys are our friends. And then that's when Pratt takes the helmet off of them. And he's like, oh, that's better, right? I don't remember they had the cameras.
Right. I don't think it was a camera. I think that was all music and no words, if I remember right. He just kind of walks out.
No, I remember he takes off the camera and he goes,
that's
better,
no, I'm
right?
not saying he didn't do that. He takes off the camera. Maybe he does say that's better. But
then that was a really cool looking scene, like the scenery there, like these giant amber statues and the statue of John Hammond. And then you get the Indominus Rex ripping through like this front lobby area to destroy the fossilized Spinosaurus, which was a Easter egg from Jurassic Park 3. And there's this really cool scene where they're being chased by the raptors before he gets the control again, like right after he bites off the guy's arm, right. where she triggers the hologram for the what is that thing called?
It was
the Iguanodon? No.
I don't know the name of it. It's the one that spits the tar on
it's the
Newman in Jurassic Park.
I know his name. What is it? Okay, well, I might have to look it up. I've been trying not to, but I might cheat on this one.
Yeah, the raptor in the scene stops. He gets freaked out because he, is faced against another dinosaur.
I thought it was just because he thought it was the spitter, so he's like, oh no.
Well, I think he just thought it was real, and he just stopped. Then he figures out it's fake and walks through.
Yeah, he attacks it, remember?
Yeah. He lunges forward and falls right through it, and he goes, hey, you can't fool me.
It's the Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus. I call it the Newman killer.
Yeah, the Newman spitter. Yeah, that was definitely really cool. Okay, and then we get the final showdown where they're like freaking out, and they're being attacked, and they're cornered, and like all the raptors are getting their butts handed to them, their tails handed to them. Like the what's his name? Anonymous Rex picks one up and like slams it into the wall, and then the other one like barely escapes, and then the kid's like, "We need more teeth." And that's when you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, hold on. When did you? I don't know about you. Yeah, I don't know about you, but when he started taking the raptors out, I felt bad for him. You build a connection with these raptors. Weirdly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you're just like, oh.
It's definitely weird because it's because they have names.
Maybe.
And you get this relationship with them versus in the first one at the end where the T-Rex is like annihilating them, like, yeah, you go T-Rex, take out those raptors. But in this one, the Anonymous Rex is like killing the raptors, and they're like, no, not the raptors.
I think it's because you're right. The dog theory, it's a dog theory because they were Owen's basically pet dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, like you said, all of a sudden the call for more teeth.
Yeah, kids like, we need more teeth, and then that's when it hits you. Claire runs, and you're like, here it comes. You get the flare, light the flare, open the cage, and then the music cue. You get another dun, 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 and then she walks forward, and you're like, oh yeah. Is there an official name for her?
I don't think so.
Okay, alright, I'll just say T-Rex. T-Rex comes out, and you're like, here it is. And then she does the old Ian Malcolm, wave the flare, and run. And then she's like running. She's the Anonymous, throws the flare at the Anonymous, and then the T-Rex is like, oh, it's go time, and starts attacking the Anonymous Rex, and like literally like she has the upper hand for a minute, and then the Anonymous Rex was like totally destroying her, and it's this weird like back and forth where the Raptors were helping out the T-Rex, and that was kind of cool.
Not at
like
first.
Tag teaming. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, remember? Because I just said like it looked like the Rex had the upper hand, and then the Anonymous flipped it.
Yeah,
and then the raptors helped out.
And that is where my theory of Spielberg versus the new director really bloomed. I'm like, he's gonna kill Spielberg because think about it. That's the new director versus Spielberg.
Oh yeah, you thought the T-Rex was gonna die? I was so fearful. I'm like, oh my gosh, if this T-Rex dies,
well, the wound on that thing's neck. The wound on that thing's neck. I'm like, this thing, it's over. They're gonna kill the T-Rex in this movie.
Yeah, you know what I loved? I loved that you could see the battle scars from the raptors of the first movie. And you're like, oh my gosh, that totally is her. Because I was speculative at first. I'm like, are you sure? Because Brian had mentioned that in the previous cast. I'm like, no way. That would be silly. Like, look how that's 20 years later. Didn't they have different T-Rexes in Lost World? And I think that's because obviously that was a different
island. Yeah.
But
no, I thought the same thing. It wasn't the same because it was 20 years.
Right. Exactly.
But where would that? How did they capture it again?
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, the last we see of it is doing the roaring thing at the end and then you see the banner fall. But yeah, you get the Rex showdown, and then you get this tag team with the Raptors, and that was really cool. And then they get the upper hand again, and this is the coolest scene. Do you want to say it or
what?
Yeah.
Oh, the end, the very end.
Yeah.
The demise of Indominus Rex.
Yeah, the demise of the Indominus. Did you notice that the skull looked kind of like the logo? It had like these really deep depressions along the face, so you could see the skull of the Indominus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't notice that. Might look at that. But anyway, you think the T-Rex is done?
Mm-hmm.
Then Blue, in that was one of the more beautiful shots when Blue came up. Like all of a sudden he's running forward, and it's in slow motion. The depth of field is strong. It's all blurred out in the background. Then they fight for a second. T-Rex gets back up. And all of a sudden it's a stalemate. And you think, what's going to happen? And then the fish. There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. We get
we'll call it the Megalodon.
Yeah, the not Megalodon.
Jumps up out of the water.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Neither did I.
I was like, whoa.
That was a Spielberg note I heard.
Really?
Spielberg said to do that. The thing comes up out of the water, grabs the Indominus Rex by the neck, and drags him into the depths.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene because you see it like fish around, like flailing.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That's what made this movie fun. You didn't see everything coming, and it was just fun.
Definitely. And I don't know if you've ever seen a crocodile or alligator attack its prey. Like, have you ever seen like a gazelle like licking or drinking from like a pond, and all of a sudden a gator grabs it? It looked just like that. It was like you don't see it coming, and when it happens, it's like 2 seconds long, and then it's gone.
Yep, exactly. But then one of the more weird yet touching moments of the film, the raptor and the T-Rex stare at each other, and it's like a sense of respect for one another.
Right. And then they make out. I don't know what that was about. I'm just kidding.
No, that was weird. Like to give them almost human personality, both of them.
Yeah, definitely. Don't they? And they just walk off, right?
Yeah, then they just walk
right off into the sunset.
And then, really, after that, the movie's over.
Yeah,
like, everybody
and then
walks
you get
off.
the whole touching, after the terror scenes where it's calm again. You get the nice mellow music. The sun's coming up. There's like a big warehouse. Everyone's huddled up. Putting blankets on each other. They're like people have been separated for so long, so like they'll see each other from a distance. Go and they run up to each other. That whole cliche, and then I guess Chris Pratt and Claire rekindle their relationship. Like, hey, we should probably stick together, for survival or something.
Yeah, hey, we ran around these woods for a whole day.
Oh yeah, definitely. we should get back together. And then and then you get the old, pan out from the park, and then it's
Did you like this shot?
I did. It was a perfect echo of the first one. You get the T-Rex again, stomping up and just doing the classic.
It was okay.
That's when they really showed the scars because it was daytime.
Right. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't have put it up on the helicopter pad.
Really?
You know where I would put him? Yeah. I don't mind him having the last shot. That's how it should have been. Put him down in the park.
Oh, you know where I put him? I put him next to John Hammond's statue.
Yeah, put him like busting in, to the main atrium, and then just have him roar, And then in the little, yeah, exactly, in the background, put John Hammond with that music. That would have been a much better closing shot.
Definitely, it was really good.
Why are we not directing this film? Why?
Right. I do say, I mean, I don't know if I've said this to you, but I know you like to you like your solo stuff, but I'm like, dude, I think we could make a lot of like good if we collaborate. It would be something magical.
Yeah, and I thought
we'll give a little teaser. We definitely have some projects coming up that are going to be really cool.
Oh, one coming up maybe soon. Maybe not a movie, but an image.
Oh yeah, something newish, something new, revamped. It's going to be magical, but it's going to change GeekastX forever.
Yes.
And that's all we'll say about that. But do you want to? That wraps up the movie. Yeah. Do you want to speculate what might happen? Are there confirmed 2 sequels?
I've read all over the place that Pratt signed up for 2 more movies. That doesn't mean there will be 2 more movies, but he signed up for 2 more movies. Now, my speculation is, what do you do next? You can't have another Park movie. That's done.
Right. Oh, why don't we revamped Isla Sorna again?
Right.
We'll go back there.
I think you have to go some other part of the world, not the Costa Rican islands. Now, Wu took all those DNAs, and he has all the shop and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make him a bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to do something like... Remember they talked about shrinking them down as pets? Maybe they'll do something like Planet of the Apes style. And, you've never seen the original ones, right?
I've seen bits and pieces. I know the gist.
And I think in the 3rd original one, I think it's Battle of Planet of the Apes, or the one before that, they everybody has a intelligent ape, and they use them as slaves. It's like, what if they have dinosaurs like that, and they're like intelligent, and they have them as pets?
What's the conflict?
Same thing as Planet of the Apes. They don't want to be pets anymore. They're like, hey, we're dinosaurs. We're wild animals. We're not domesticated.
Yeah, I mean, if they do, I don't know. Just something about that.
And then one says, get your dirty paws off me.
Yeah.
You damn dirty human.
I just don't want them to dilute the Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, the feel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the concept art of the human-dinosaur hybrids, but I hope that doesn't happen.
You know it will. If it goes far enough, they will do it.
I won't say I won't like it. I'll say it would be weird. I'll watch it anyway. But until I see it, I can't really judge it. Do you have any other predictions?
No, I think Wu should be the bad guy, and it should be some sort of nefarious sort of thing. Just tee off what the InGen wanted. InGen wanted them to be basically military.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they have like a military, like, you gotta stop this kind of thing.
They want him to be military. Owen is former military.
Right, there you go. Done. We just wrote the sequel.
Done and done.
We gotta have, like, alright, you got the Navy, we're gonna use these dinosaurs in the military, right? And then Owen's like, dude, it's not a good idea. These aren't weapons, these are animals. Right. You have to treat them like with respect.
I told you in the last movie, why didn't you listen?
Right, yeah, exactly. And this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna be, that kind of like PETA kind of thing. Like, these aren't, these have feelings and stuff.
So essentially the sequel should take the dinosaurs into a broader world.
Right. An open world.
Yeah, basically what Lost World tried to do at the end, but make it,
not 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
bet you they're gonna have like dinosaurs with like machine guns and stuff.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Like a freaking laser beam strapped to its head.
Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, don't let that happen.
That's all I can think of for speculating a sequel.
See, but Colin Trevorrow is not coming back for the sequel, supposedly.
Who is?
Nobody's been announced.
It's gonna be
Brett Ratner. No, call him up.
Tramp.
Who?
The dude who did the new Fantastic Four.
Josh Trank?
Trank. Yeah, get him.
Oh, please no. Please no.
Fine, we'll have Chewbacca do it. You have these neon cannons on the T-Rex. Like, what up?
You know he would. Know he would.
All right.
But yeah. Yeah. Overall, I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely a good flick.
I mean, overall, it was a fun summer movie. $500 million globally at the box office.
Oh yeah, have you seen the post the image they posted? Like,
yes, I saw Marvel's response.
Oh yeah, that was so good. I thought it'd be classic. Star Wars. There you go. Sequel. Chris Pratt in a giant tree and shooting things. In Jurassic Park.
People keep saying if we live long enough, they're just gonna cross them all together.
That's crazy.
I hope I am not around because it will just be too stupid.
It makes sense.
But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, opening box $500 million
globally, not domestically. I think domestically it was 220. But hey, I think it'll be the highest of the summer.
It was definitely good. I liked it. So yeah.
But yeah, do you want to do the plugs and we can talk about a few other things coming up and then we will get out of here?
Sure. Yeah. All right. Quick plugs. You can find us at on YouTube at GeekastX. You can also find us on iTunes under GeekastX, and now we're on Facebook under GeekastX, but the URL is facebook.com/geekazoidofficial with an X. The important things is the X. Remember the X, okay? And then we're also on nerdoverload.com/authors/GeekastX, and we're on Twitter. Jake at AlexSteak Jake, GeekastX Sean, GeekastX Ronnie, and Sebastian is at
Barker Studios.
At Barker Studios. Okay.
Barker Studios. You have all one word. And if you're listening, please sound off on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'd love some feedback.
We'd love some feedback, and talk to whoever's listening because we're kind of unsure if anyone's listening, but yeah. I think there's a few. What's coming? I know you were talking about an E3 special.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do an E3 special coming up. That might be our next one in a couple weeks. And then we're gonna do a Doctor Who special. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna be Brian's baby.
I know nothing about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything, but I'll show up because I think it'll be interesting.
Well, you're the host.
Oh yeah, hostess with the mostest.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of.
Yeah. Anything else?
Probably Terminator. We'll probably do a Terminator special. That'd be
Terminator? Cool. There you go. I guess since we're done with the movie, real quick before we go, any news items that you've been seeing that you want to talk about?
No.
No? Okay. I went to see Inside Out. I know that's not Jurassic Park. I loved it. I recommend people go see it. It starts today. Today is Friday, the 19th. So I don't know when you're going to put this out.
Wait, you saw it already? Did it come out last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I saw early screening.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, Sebastian, did you go to a midnight?
I saw an early preview screen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's a good movie. Pixar, another masterpiece under their belt. So.
I mean, if you say it's good, I'll believe you because I'll say, I think we're very like-minded when it comes to films.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for me, just by the previews, I was a little wary of it. But if you say it's good, I'll check it out.
I was wary of the voice cast because they're kind of high profile. I always get kind of nervous when you have more than 2 high profile people in a Pixar cast.
Mm-hmm.
And this was all of them essentially being kind of high profile people.
Mm-hmm.
But that all melts away and just the enjoyment of the story shines through. And it was magical. And I think it's one of Pixar's top 5. Essentially. So worth checking out. Inside Out.
All right.
So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I got on my head.
Yeah.
Mine.
All right, geeks, that wraps up our Jurassic World special. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Look at your glass of water there.
What is that? Do you hear that noise?
Oh
my God. Is that a T-Rex?
Run!
Oh my God! Run!
Wait! If you don't move, I can't see you.
Okay. Run! Run!